Okay, picture this. A tech giant, almost bankrupt, drowning in debt, a failed product, just on the ropes.
Yeah.
And then somehow they stage this incredible comeback. Today we're diving into AMD advanced micro devices, often called the Phoenix of Silicon Valley.
Right. And our mission here is really to unpack how that happened. We'll dig into the history, the big mistakes, but also the really bold visionary calls they made.
Using the sources we've gathered.
Exactly. We want to pull out the key lessons about resilience, taking calculated tech risks, and leadership, especially in this crazy high-stakes semiconductor world.
Okay, let's start with the fall. They had that golden age, right, with the Athlon processors. What went so wrong after that?
Well, there were two really big things. First, back in 2006, they bought ATI, the graphics card company. Huge deal, $5.4 billion.
Visionary, maybe? Thinking CPU plus GPU?
Potentially, yeah, long term. But the immediate impact, massive, massive debt. They took on a $2.5 billion loan just for that. It really crippled their ability to maneuver financially for years, over-leveraging for growth.
Okay, so debt was a killer. But I remember there was a specific product disaster, too, that really hammered them.
Oh, absolutely. You're thinking of Bulldozer, launched in 2011. It was just a catastrophic miscalculation in terms of chip architecture.
Oh, so what was the flaw?
They tried this clustered multi-threading idea. Basically, cores shared critical resources, like the front-end part and the math unit.
And that caused bottlenecks.
Severe bottlenecks, yeah. Especially in the software people were actually using. The flagship chip, the FX8150, it often got beaten by cheaper Intel chips with fewer cores.
Ouch.
Yeah. Reception was terrible, power consumption was high, and it led straight to a devastating loss in 2012, like $1.18 billion net loss. That pushed them right to the edge.
Right to the brink. Okay, so pulling out of that nosedive, what sparked the turnaround?
The big turning point, most agree, was Dr. Lisa Su becoming CEO in 2014. Her strategy: simplify the focus and make this incredibly courageous bet on a totally new design.
Not just tweaking Bulldozer.
No. A complete clean sheet redesign. They called it Zen. It was a total rejection of Bulldozer. And they set this just audacious target, a 40% improvement in instructions per cycle. IPC.
40%, that's huge in chip design.
It is. And the amazing thing, they actually exceeded it. Came in at 52%. It just showed the power of, admitting a mistake and going for a fundamental reset.
Wow. Okay. And then the timing. Wasn't there something happening with Intel around then too? A bit of luck, maybe?
You could call it luck, or maybe AMD making its own luck by being ready. But yes, precisely when AMD was executing brilliantly on Zen, Intel hit a wall.
They're manufacturing.
Exactly. Intel had these catastrophic multi-year delays trying to move to their next-gen 10-nanometer manufacturing process. They got stuck on 14-millimeter for like 5 generations of chips.
While Zen launched on
also 14-millimeter initially. But because Intel was stalled, AMD suddenly had this massive, unexpected opening to compete, even without having a process lead initially. It really highlights how critical manufacturing discipline is.
Okay, so the window opens, Zen is ready. How did Ryzen and EPYC capitalize? That's when things really took off, right?
Absolutely. Ryzen launched in 2017 for desktops, just stormed the market. Great multi-threaded performance, great value. They eventually clawed their way up to basically a 50-50 split with Intel in desktop CPU market share by late 2021.
Impressive. But the server market, EPYC, that was the real game changer, wasn't it?
That was the truly transformational part. EPYC used this clever chiplet architecture. Instead of one giant hard-to-make chip, they used multiple smaller chips, or chiplets, connected together.
Which meant
better manufacturing yields, lower costs, and they could pack in way more cores. We're talking up to 128 cores eventually at a price point Intel just couldn't touch with their traditional designs. AMD's server share went from like less than 1% in 2017 to get this 41% by revenue in Q2 2025.
41%. From almost nothing.
A complete reversal. It really showcased architectural innovation disrupting a market.
And buying Xilinx showed they had the financial muscle back too. Okay, fast forward. What's the next big mountain for them to climb?
AI. Definitely AI. Right now, that market is just dominated by NVIDIA.
NVIDIA's got the hardware, sure, but it's more than that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's the CUDA. CUDA is NVIDIA's proprietary software platform. It's been around for like 15 years. Developers use it to program the AI chips. It's deeply entrenched, creates real vendor lock-in.
So developers are used to it, the tools are built around it. How does AMD even begin to challenge that software advantage?
It's a tough one. They're hitting it from two angles. First, compelling hardware. Their Instinct MI300 series accelerators, they're pushing hard on things like having more memory, which is critical for large AI models.
And the software side.
Their open source platform, ROCm, that's AMD's sort of direct alternative to CUA. And crucially, they're providing tools designed to help developers convert their existing CEDA code to run on AMD hardware.
Trying to lower the barrier to switching.
Exactly. The goal is to offer a genuinely viable, open alternative and, try and break that NVIDIA lock-in.
So looking at this whole journey, what's the big takeaway for you listening right now? I think AMD's story is just this powerful reminder, really. Even the most dominant companies can stumble. And that things like strategic patience, focusing, and just nailing the execution, it can lead to these absolutely remarkable turnarounds.
Yeah, it really raises a fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? AMD used open standards and great value to beat Intel, or at least compete heavily. Will that same playbook, openness, value, performance be enough this time? Enough to chip away at NVIDIA's huge CEDA advantage in AI?
And what does that battle mean for the rest of us, for innovation, for tools?
Exactly. Something to think about until our next deep dive.